Chapter 2. We all make mistakes. The day started off bustling as Sir Topham Hatt and Bob had their day's work cut out for them. The two were discussing the new track plan and were to lay down the newly developed line. "I think we should start at Knapford Station and work our way back to the rock pile," said Bob. "I like where you're going with this so far," said Sir Topham Hatt, "but we must be mindful of making a cut in the switching line to the other side of the island." "Yes," Bob said, with an enthusiastic tone. "And if we make a point to put the switch nearest to the end of the line, we can also get to Wellington Station." "There's just one problem," said Sir Topham Hatt. "And what's that?" Bob replied. "If we want to make it over to the river, we'll need to build a bridge." Bob looked puzzled and replied, "We sure do have our work cut out for us, don't we?" "Indeed," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Well, now that we have a plan, Thomas and I will ship the reels first thing in the morning," said Bob. "Carry on." The next morning, Bob, steaming with excitement, brought forth the news of the newly planned line. "I'm honored Sir Topham Hatt chose me to carry the new rails," said Thomas. "You're the perfect fit for the job," replied Bob. "We need a smaller engine that can make the tight turns and yet still carry a fair share of the load." "I would have thought that the Fat Controller would have chose Gordon to do such a big job," said Thomas. No, you're the perfect fit for the whole," said Bob. "I sure hope I don't let anybody down." "I am kind of nervous," said Thomas. "A little further back," said Bob. Thomas was very, very disgruntled, expecting he had hooked up the wagon. "That should do her," said Bob. Thomas then began his journey, not realizing he didn't connect the truck with the ties. The lonely truck carrying the tires slowly began to roll forward, and eventually down the line. He was now a runaway with no one in control. Thomas and Bob began their journey to the other side of the island where they would meet Sir Topham Hatt, who was patiently waiting. "That was a long journey," said Thomas. "Right on time," said Sir Topham Hatt. "First things first, let's have a look at you." "Where are the ties?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "Say, Thomas, do you have the wagon full of ties?" "Why, yes, they're right." Bob and Sir Topham Hatt looked at each other puzzled. "Why, I must have forgotten to hook up the last wagon full of ties," said Thomas. "That can't be," said Bob. "I felt you make the connection." "I may have missed the connection while hooking up. You see, I was very excited. I think my anxiety caused me to make the mistake." "Well, don't worry about a thing. We'll just send you back on your way to pick up the tie truck." All of a sudden, a loud rumble came from down the tracks. The three looked nervously at what was now clear a wagon rolling down the track. "Look out," said Bob. After the dust cleared, the three looked in amazement as the ties had crashed over the railing. They were now in place. "Why, I don't know what to say," said Sir Topham Hatt. "It appears, Thomas, that your mistake worked out in our situation." Thomas, although nervous and confused from his ghastly mistake, perked up. "I don't recommend the same approach in the future," said Sir Topham Hatt. "But I know your excitement got the best of you, and, well, your mistake worked out." Thomas was relieved. "I promise to catch myself when feeling anxious next time," said Thomas. "Come along now," said Sir Topham Hatt. "We'll lay the rails tomorrow. It's been a long day and we must rest." The three began their journey back to Knapford Station. "Thanks for understanding," said Thomas. "Well, thanks for your mistake," said Sir Topham Hatt.